Hello, African American literature students. I'm Dr. Oliver, your instructor for the course. This first video is just to give you an understanding of the course content and the pace so that you know what to expect on a regular basis and how to contact me. So we'll go ahead and get started. The first thing that I want to point out to you is that I'm glad you're in the class. And I want you to know that I am as accessible as I possibly can be. And so even though this is not my only class, I want you to understand that I will get back to you as quickly as possible. And so any questions that you have, feel free to field them and make sure that you're letting me know about any challenges that you're having so that we can make adjustments as needed. Okay, so this is just a little bit about my background. I do have a bachelor's degree from SIUE in English. Actually, all three of my degrees focus on English, but in different areas. My MA, I focused on the teaching of writing. And so we will definitely be focused on our writing this semester and how well we're articulating ideas. But my PhD is focused on literature, specifically African American and post-colonial literatures. And so if you have any concerns about literatures in other classes, just let me know. I'm happy to assist you in any way I can. I have been teaching English and literature since 1997, so it's been a few minutes. But prior to being in academia full-time, I was a corporate trainer. And so those levels of professionalism are very important to me. And so if you're at a point in your academic career where you are getting ready to launch into the next level, I'm also happy to assist you with help for any information or connections outside of the classroom or even the institution. Alrighty, so we have a few course goals that I want to make sure that I'm clearly outlining. First of all, that we are here to engage in a general exploration of African American literature. Even though we will discuss some Pan-African identities related to the Americas, we are not looking at literatures outside of an African American context for this class. Occasionally, I'll make some references to things if you have an interest, but I just want you to understand that this is not a Pan-African literature class. And so even though I do have some experience with literatures outside of the Americas, the reality is we have a very clear, narrow lens for this course. And so we want to make sure that we're focused on the things that will help us achieve our course objectives. Also, this is not a history class. And so if you're going, hey, Dr. Oliver, what year did such and such happen? Unless it's tied to the literature, I probably don't know. And that's not to suggest that it's not an interest. It's just I'm not a historian. And so I want you to understand that we are looking at literary themes and motifs. And so in that regard, the kind of general rule is if you make an argument, just be able to back it up with evidence. And so I am less concerned about the facts and much more concerned about the conditions that create the literature. And so with that in mind, you want to make sure that you're keeping all of your discussions and your themes on the same lines with the discussions of the literature. We are looking through that lens and that lens only. All right, so the way the course is set up, as you can see on your course management system, is that we have essentially 4 parts, and these align with the course expectations and the overall learning outcomes. And so the first thing that I want you to understand is that you're going to get a whole lot of vocabulary, which helps us to provide context. I can't just give you the terms or expect you to know the terms automatically. That's not how that works. And so I'll give you a bunch of specific terms that coincide with these specific modules that we will be addressing. You also want to make sure that you're understanding that reading is a huge component of this course. It is, in fact, the biggest component. Because if you don't read, we don't have the same understandings of things. And that's not to suggest that you need to understand things the way I do. What I'm saying is we're not speaking the same language if you haven't read what I've expected you to read. And so when I make the reading assignments, you should put aside several hours each week to focus on the reading. And as a matter of fact, this class has an expectation, because it is a 3 credit hour class, has an expectation of about 6 hours worth of coursework each week. And that includes the reading reading, the vocabulary, making sure that you're getting the writing together, and preparing for any other layers. And so if you are using between 4 and 6 hours a week, you should be expect to be successful in the class unless something crazy happens like plagiarism or cheating. Okay. All right. So the other thing that you want to keep in mind is that there is no way that I can tell if you read the items unless I assess you. And we have assessments in a couple of different ways in this class. One of which, and this is the main one, is through the writing. And so you will have several writing prompts that you'll be doing, the reading responses. We'll also have to, you will have to prepare a presentation later on in the semester. It won't be due until the second half, but that requires some research and some writing as well. And then also we'll have some quizzes and an exam. And so those things gauge your knowledge of the concepts that we've covered. They are much more objective. The writing is subjective, so you want to write well. Even though I won't be challenging your position on anything, how you present that position is definitely important. So you want to write well, and you want your writing to be organized and well supported. And with your quizzes and exams, you want to make sure that you've done the reading and you've picked up on some of the major elements of that reading. And sometimes when I do the videos for our class, I will actually give you the answers for the things that will be covered in the quizzes. So just pay attention to those and make sure you're watching your videos. So as far as the pace of the course, I want you to understand, again, that you are expected to spend at least 4 to 6 hours each week on this class. And so you're going to have at least 2 assignments due each week. And those assignments could be a discussion board post and replies, or response question, quizzes, or an exam, and a research project. Again, your research project won't be due until the second half, and you'll get that assignment with several weeks in advance notice. We'll actually go through a vetting process so that I can approve your topic and help you to reduce your subject, but ultimately you should expect these things. We'll also have our recorded lectures, and this is one of these, our weekly office hours. I have the office hours, I hope, set up for a time and day that works well with your schedule so that you can drop in if you need to. They are not required, but if you want to meet sometime other than during the published office hour, feel free to let me know, especially in an online environment. I want to, again, make sure that I'm available to you when you are able to meet. And so definitely reach out via email or text if you have a time that works better for you. We will definitely set up an appointment. And so I do want to leave you with my information. I am always available via email, and you have my email address here. It is also available within the course shell, and you can also feel free to text me. But I do want to let you know that if you text me, make sure that you let me know who you are and which school you're attending. So make sure that your text, at least initially, identifies you in that way. And with text, I can answer immediate questions like, hey, is our paper due today or tomorrow? Is it supposed to be, 1 page or 2? Things like that that are more immediate. With email, if you have an elaborate question, such as asking about a motif within a piece of literature, or some type of thematic question, or even a question about your writing in a very general or even specific sense, that would be much more appropriate to do through email, so that you can get a full explanation. All right. So other than that, I don't have anything else for you. I appreciate your time and want you to again know that I'm available and willing to help you in any way I can. You have a wonderful semester. Thank you very much.